Good morning, guys. It's Amy Bennett with the AM Show. I'm so glad you're here. This morning is going to be a quick one because we got to get our van to the shop. We have a recall and we need to get it checked out. And oh my goodness. So we're having to leave a little bit early. So I'm early and I'm not going to be able to be on for very long. But I did want to check in really quickly. Let me tell you, Emma drove by herself last night for the first time with her sister. She practiced going to the high school. I think we're gonna let her drive by herself for school next week. So you can be praying for all of us. Oh my gosh. That was every bit as nerve-wracking as you think it might be. So the thing that I wanted to talk about this morning was really decision making. So I read this devotion in this book. This is by Lisa TerKeurst. It's called Embraced 100 Devotions to Know God is Holding You Close. And my friend Marie, that is usually on here every morning, she'll probably hop on soon. She gave this to me, I believe, for my birthday. And I have been enjoying it. I don't read it every morning, but I do read it some mornings. And there was something that stuck out to me in the devotion that I read today. And it really has to do with what we've been talking about this week. And then I had a conversation with Jessica Honegger for the podcast, and I don't know, it kind of ties into all that, so I just wanted to share it. So in this devotion, she's talking all about decision making, and how decisions that we have long-term consequences. And she was talking about her decision as she was a single gal looking for a guy, and she was deciding, you know, whether she was going to get in the bar scene and meet some people that way, or someone of her friends had suggested she went to church. And she talks about how she decided to go that way, and if she had made the decision to go in the bar scene, that if you you can't assume what that would look like, but if you continue to make those kind of choices way down the line, like what does that look like? And so it's all about making decisions. And so she says, our decisions aren't just isolated choices. Our decisions point our lives in the directions we're about to head. Show me a decision and I'll show you a direction. We've got to get good at chasing down our decisions, see where they will take us, and make sure that's really where we want to go. And I think that's so wise to think about our consequences before we do that. But, and this is my caveat to this, and it's something, you know, this week we have been talking about really doing the things that God is calling us to do. Yesterday we talked about burn it down. You know, if God calls you to, you go. But as there's some of these decisions that we're making choices about, and I think so often when we start to play this out, we always go for the worst case scenario. So if I make the decision, let me think about all the worst case scenario, and then we talk ourselves out of it every single time. And Jessica Honegger said on the podcast that's coming out on Tuesday, she referenced the famous quote, you know, what happens if I fall? And it says, my darling, but what happens if you fly? And I think that's the question that we ask ourselves so often is, what if we fall? And then we make these decisions based on all of perceived things that's going to happen if we fall. But I want to challenge us today is to ask the questions as we're thinking about this in the future. What if you fly? What if you fly? And to begin to imagine these decisions. What if this goes right? What if this thing that God is calling me to do goes right? And what could it mean for me? And what could it mean for my family? And begin to look at it from an optimistic perspective. And I think naturally we want to look at all the bad consequences, and I think that is so wise and so important, and I think we do that naturally, so I don't think I need to encourage you to do that. I think you're going to do that. But ask yourself, I want to encourage you to ask yourself, what would happen if it went well? What would happen my darling, what if you fly? Like, what could this decision mean? And I can say it probably could be a lot of good things. And to lean into that, and if you know it's something that God is pressing you towards, then lean into that. The good things that we're imagining may not be the good things that God has for us. But what I do know, if God is calling you to it, He does have good things planned for you. So I am, like I said, on a time crunch, so I am already going to hop off here. I would ask if you could say a quick prayer for me tonight. It is another one of those late nights at work. A huge project going in this weekend, and it just is, I know it's just a project, but I've been working on it for a long time, and so I hope everything goes well, and I hope I don't have to stay up all night. Like, it could be one of those things where I work for 24 hours straight. I don't know. Hopefully it's not going to be like that. best case scenario is probably 1 a.m. So I'm gonna need some caffeine no matter what. So let me real quick too say good morning, Carla, Teresa, good morning. Darian was able to join. So good morning, guys. I hope you are doing well. Thanks for hopping on here. I'm on early and I'm hopping off pretty quick just because of the morning that we have. So thanks for joining. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll report back on Monday. Kids start school on Monday, so it's a big day. Hopefully my project went in, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend. So you guys have a good one. See you on Monday. Bye.